Well, according to the arbiter of truth, Candace Owens, joke's on you guys if you believe that Turning Point USA is a Christian organization. Turns out, according to Candace Owens, a new theory has emerged. Yes, seems like every single stinking week we are getting a new theory. And that new theory, ladies and gentlemen, is Turning Point USA is actually a Mormon organization. Hello? And guess who wants to, or who wanted to actually take out Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk? You guessed it, the Mormon organization. So firstly, we had the foreign entity, so Israel. Then we had Turning Point USA itself. Then we had the bees, the hive of bees that apparently were responsible. Then we had Egypt. Then we had, I don't know how many other theories that she's come up with, but I got to give credit where credit is due. The level of creativity on all this is just truly profound, isn't it? Now, I want to correct something because I believe I said, based around someone else's reporting over on X, that Candace Owens was receiving $130,000 a month in just supers alone, and that's not accurate. And here on the show, we tell the truth, so therefore we are going to do just that. So I retract my statement that I made. Turns out it's more like $15,000. However, ladies and gentlemen, that's just supers, right? Supers are what people actually donate to you, which is still a lot of money in a month, getting $15,000 on supers alone. People donating their own money to this dingbat. That is crazy. I don't get anywhere close to that. Nowhere near close to that. In fact, $15,000 is quite a high amount, which I haven't actually ever made. So, yeah, that's quite astounding to me. But Candace Owens in the last month, just from her YouTube revenue, supers, memberships, everything combined, it looks like it is estimated to be around, this is also with Instagram, looks to be about 1.9 mil to $2.4 million. So she's still earning millions of dollars from her social media and from her YouTube because of her crazy, outlandish theories. And she wants to go after the Zionists, guys. She wants to say that the Zionists are the liars, right? You know, we can make mistakes. We're not perfect. But, oh, no. If Candace Owens lies, who are we going to blame? Guess what? You lie all the time, Candace Owens, about literally everything you say. So you're going to blame the Zionists for that? No. No, you can only blame the Zionists, ladies and gentlemen, if they come after her and accuse her of stuff. Unbelievable, right? To your left, another Zionist fairy tale. To your right, reality. So she gave us the reality of, which, by the way, it's down. Her supers are down. So I would love to have seen it, what it was like when it was up. That's like a lot of money, if you ask me, to be spreading conspiracy theories. But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, still $15,000. So, by the way, Candace Owens also sells merch, if you weren't aware of that, which she ends up earning quite a bit from that too. So, with that all being said, we're going to be going into her new or latest theory, which drops, I think, on Saturday, but I missed out on it, unfortunately, because there's so many other things to talk about. But joke's on you guys if you think that Turning Point USA is a Christian organization. She's now accusing the Mormons of going after Charlie Kirk or being involved in the Charlie Kirk assassination. Have a watch of this.
Last time I spoke at Turning Point USA's conference in 2024, there was this random sidebar conversation that I had with Tyler Boyer. Tyler Boyer is the king of shady at Turning Point USA. He is the one, like I said, he has hired every person around Charlie. Joke's on you if you think Turning Point USA is a Christian organization. It's a Mormon one, okay? And Tyler Boyer said to me backstage, there was something going on with like Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes. I can't recall. This is, again, 2024. And I said to him, why don't you just have Charlie debate Nick? Like the common sense thing to me is just like have the debate, right? It's not a big, it's like all of this. I think Nick had maybe come actually to the conference with like some people because he was doing that for a little bit. And I was like, why don't you just like debate him? Like, I don't know. I'm like pro conversation. And Tyler said to me, Turning Point USA will never will just always be pro-Israel. Like we're just never not going to be pro-Israel. Didn't think anything of it at the time, but in retrospect, it's kind of a weird thing to say. Like, what do you mean we'll never?
Oh, it's a weird thing to say that Turning Point USA will never be or never not be pro-Israel, because Charlie Kirk, the founder and the leader of Turning Point USA, was pro-Israel. So hence Turning Point USA itself as an organization and as a company is pro-Israel. So that kind of makes a bit of sense. But to Candace Owens, it doesn't make any sense at all. I'm never not going to be pro-Israel. Are you kidding me? Maybe you should do a little bit of research like I have, like Candace Owens has, and then come away with supporting Islam instead of actually supporting the one country in the Middle East that is actually a democracy and actually is thriving and is quite healthy at that. But no, let's come after Israel, guys, because of what's going on in Gaza. Let's come after them hard. Like, the Israelis are apparently the big bad wolves, and except Islam is getting a free ride at the moment, and all this Israeli derangement syndrome is quite astounding to actually see. It doesn't look healthy, does it? I mean, you can see, like, just look at Candace Owens, right? When she was supporting Israel and how healthy she actually looked and how much she made sense. And now look at her. Israeli derangement syndrome and the conspiracy theories. I think she's realized that if she's going to go out things her own way or on her own, she needs to be relative all the time. And to become relative in these days, today's day and age, right? In order to become relative, guys, you got to say like Alex Jones does. You got to do the conspiracy theory narrative. You got to go against Israel, and it is quite profitable to do. But now, Turning Point is apparently a Mormon organization. Man, that's news to everyone, isn't it? I think it's news to Andrew Colvert as well. I had no idea that Turning Point USA was a Mormon organization, and they're sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. How about that? I didn't know Mormons did that, but hey, well. Dear, oh dear. So the organization, according to Candace, she had a conversation with this guy and she couldn't recall the actual extent of the conversation because it's 2024. But hey, she's going to recall what she thought of. And again, I'll say this, you got to give her A+ marks for creativity and coming up with the most insane and crazy conspiracy theory narratives there has been, especially revolving around Charlie Kirk. And I think it's quite sad. I really do. She's trying to ruin his reputation, trying to tarnish his legacy. And loads of people have been calling her out on it, but apparently they're just, Zionists. Like, your labels don't mean anything anymore. Like, it's funny to me. Everyone's just going after those that are actually speaking the truth and just calling them Zionists. And it's quite unbecoming, isn't it? Like they love throwing out these names and these labels, but they don't really understand what it truly means. Like there's nothing wrong being a Zionist. Absolutely nothing wrong. I myself say that I am a Christian and I'm a Zionist. Want to put it together, you can say Christian Zionist for all I care. And that's based around the Bible. But lo and behold, guys, today's day and age, you're not allowed to be a Christian and a Zionist. You just got to be a Christian and hate Israel, supposedly. Even though there's no real reason to. But anyway, that's enough from me, guys. You take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.